It was a beautiful day in the neighborhood when I finally finished my Neighborhood Trolley project. When I was young, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood was one television program that I always was sure to watch. Mr. Rogers, Mr. McFeely, Joe Negri, Chef Brockett, Betty Aberlin, and company formed the model of what a children's program ought to be. This model program, of course, was not complete without its two model trolleys, a number one scale version that transported us to the neighborhood of make-believe each episode, and an HO scale version that trundled down the HO scale streets of a model of Mr. Rogers' real, in a television sense, neighborhood. A 1988 article in Model Railroader magazine recounted building the HO scale trolley, and since then I had the idea that I could make one of my own. Fast forward not quite 30 years, and I was watching Mr. Rogers with my own children, and the idea resurfaced. The closest thing I could find to Mr. Rogers' trolley was Tyco's Broadway trolley, and I picked one up for about $5 on eBay, with the idea of modifying it to look like the neighborhood trolley, which would require cutting out the sides and ends. However, the Tyco trolley's motor and mechanism were vertically mounted, which presented an aesthetic challenge. It was not a problem for the original model, since Tyco hid the mechanics inside the trolley behind frosted glass. But this would not look right for an open trolley such as the neighborhood trolley. So the project was on hold again. A year later, I was watching one of Dan Cartapassi's TSG Multimedia product reviews on YouTube. This one was of a Bachmann-Birney streetcar. The Birney trolley used the same wheelbase as the neighborhood trolley with two axles, and it had a mechanism that was built into the floor of the car, allowing a relatively decently detailed interior that one could look at through the windows. Even better, it came from the factory with digital command control. The project was back on. I realized that the Tyco trolley was longer than the Bachmann chassis, and I would have to remove about half an inch from the middle of the car for it to look right. This meant that even the pillars I had left intact when cutting away the rest of the trolley's side would no longer work, because cutting out a half inch would ruin their spacing. I made the cuts, reassembled the roof, sheathing it with a thin sheet styrene to mask the surgery marks. I manufactured new sides out of K&S squared steel tubing that I cut to length and soldered together. I cut the interior details out of the Birney chassis and filed the floor smooth. I made new trolley seats out of styrene. Finally, it was down to painting the trolley and creating the signs. I actually printed the signs on ordinary typewriter paper, glued them to styrene, and painted the whole thing with clear yellow paint. That got the effect I needed. I replaced the original Bachmann decoder with a Cam 4 from TCS Wow. The Cam 4 offers great low-speed control, while its Keep Alive actually gives the trolley some immunity from dirty track or spots where the track loses connectivity. The whole decoder and Keep Alive assembly was small enough to tuck right into the clerestory without being visible. The end result is a model of the neighborhood trolley that captures the look of the original G-scale model in HO scale, but does so with a mechanism that operates smoothly and reliably enough to crawl along a street under its own power at a scale 1 mile per hour. Thank you for watching, and remember, you make each day a special day, just by being you.